Hi everyone, it's Michelle from Scrap Secrets and welcome to another Craft and Chat. This is episode number 5 and today we are going to be talking about something that is very timely, the coronavirus and ways we can help small businesses, because a lot of us do patron small businesses, but not just crafty ones, throughout anything in daily life, because if you think about it, these businesses are probably losing customers, and people are afraid to go out with all of this self-quarantine or social distancing. So I wanted to talk a little bit about ways that we can all help these small businesses survive and then thrive once they get back, once this self-imposed quarantine or this, social distancing is over. And before we start talking about ideas, I wanted to show you what I'm working on. I took 2 stamp sets that I just got this weekend and then one that I've had for a while, and I'm going to stamp the images and going to Copic color them, probably some of them, while we are talking about ideas. So the first one is the All Tucked In, and I'm going to use this bedside table, desk, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to use it as a side table for a chair, with the books and the fish on top of it. And then the 2 frames I'm going to stamp out. I'm not sure if I'm going to use those or not, but I'm stamping them out just in case. And then there's this cute little cat that's curled up down here. I believe that the cat's probably meant to go on the bed or right in front of the bed, but I have a different idea for that. And then we're also going to use this Cozy Companions stamp set, and I have the fireplace, the lamp, the chair with the, I believe it's a fox in there with the little blanket, and the book. And then I want to use the sentiment, let's snuggle up with a good book in each other. So I think that's very cute. And the last stamp set that I'm using is actually a Christmas stamp set. So this is an MFT one called Merry Christmas, and there's an adorable little rug down here that the cat is actually going to sit on. Now I have the dies associated with this, but since I don't have dies with everything else, here are the dies here, and you can tell how old these are because these are the ones that don't have the cutouts in them. These were the solid dies, which are the first dies that MFT ever made. So that's how old this stamp set is and how long I've been shopping at MFT. I am actually going to cut these all out with my brother's Scan and Cut, which I probably will do a video on at some point on how to use it, but I always forget the first time I cut it out, so it'll take me a little bit to remember. I haven't cut things out in a while on the brother's Scan and Cut. And if you heard that whining in the background, that is Lucy. I'm not sure exactly what she wants, but she is down here now. I'm just inking up the images with the Gina K Amalgam ink, which is good for Copic coloring. And I'm going to, this is the first time that I've stamped every one of these images with the exception of the rug. I've used that in several cards now. Oh, we probably will have to ink this up more than once, which is why I'm using my Misty. And I apologize if you hear them growling at each other. I don't know what her problem is. I think she's feeling the effects already of being quarantined, although she's not an outdoor cat, so not so sure what she's whining about. But Fred just probably walked into her space, and she just doesn't like that. But anyway, let's get started on talking about ideas on ways to help small businesses. I wasn't really aware of, I wasn't thinking about small businesses, especially restaurants and things like that. For us, we order a lot of our stamps through companies like MFT, Concord and Knife, Kindred Stamps, etc., any of the other stamp companies, Hero Arts. We order them online. So pretty much, unless they stop shipping, people are still going to support these companies. How about the restaurants that you guys go to? This definitely needs to be inked up again. And not just fast food restaurants, because a lot of the fast food restaurants will probably stay open because a lot of them will have the drive-throughs, and that will cut down on like the interactions. And I think those are going to be less affected, like the Chick-fil-A's and Smash Burger doesn't have drive-throughs. I don't know if yours do. I did a survey today and I saw that apparently some of them do have drive-throughs. Not mine, but Burger King's, McDonald's, and that kind of stuff of the world, those will probably be okay because those are major corporations and, they have contingency plans in line. But I was scrolling through Facebook the other day, and my aunt and uncle own a small bar or not a small bar, but it's a decent sized bar in a predominantly college. The clientele is predominantly college and the local world headquarters for a major food company. So they get a lot of business people and college students that patronize their bar and restaurant. The unfortunate part is the major food company has shut down their world headquarters, and the local college has sent their kids home. It doesn't leave much other patrons because this restaurant is in a poor part of the state that I live in, and it's very interesting because I would say 95% of their people or their clientele are fit into one of those two categories, either working for this large company or they go to school at the college. So my aunt had posted something about ways to help businesses stay, afloat during this time. And I thought that it was very smart, and I shared it on my personal Facebook page, but I just wanted to talk to you guys about it today and see, what your opinions are. One of the things that they had recommended in there was to buy a gift card now for the local businesses that you frequent. That way the company has revenue, and then use it once this whole self-imposed quarantine, social distancing is over, which I thought was amazing because if you think about it, you can order most places, you can order gift cards right online, so you don't even have to leave your house. You don't have to leave the quarantine that most of us are in at this point, and you're still helping that business. And then when this quarantine is over, you can use that gift card and go out and eat. So I just thought that was a very clever idea, and it's super helpful. So then other things I started to think about, there's a lot of people that are affected by this, and they are jewelry makers or different kinds of artists that their main source of income are craft shows. If you saw the Silo postponed their Silobration, which is huge because there are so many vendors that go to that. The spring craft fairs around me are canceling. So it's just kind of it's a crazy time and a very unprecedented time because we've never had this kind of thing before. My sister and sister-in-law are both part of the education system. One's a teacher and one is a vice principal. And, they're working through what's going to happen with the kids that they teach and the kids that they are the principal for. How do we still keep the kids educated? So it's a very, very trying time. A lot of companies are, like on Friday, my company, which is a major food manufacturer, not the one that I talked about that closed their world headquarters. However, we did close ours. It's not around here. It's in a different state from where I am. However, I'm doing a terrible job with stamping. Sorry, I'm trying to talk and stamp at the same time, and I clearly can't multitask that well. So it's difficult because we have I have sales reps whose sole job is to go into the grocery stores. What do we do with them? What do we, how do they still get a paycheck, but are still staying safe at the same time? And a lot of stores do not want to see these sales reps at this point, and I don't blame them because it's a danger to them because it is, you're putting people at unnecessary risks, but you still have to have people in the stores. Luckily, we don't pack out stuff to the shelves or anything. There's a separate set of chip vendors or Pepsi or Coke where they have their people that actually go in and pack out the product. That's different. My guys just go into the store and check to make sure stuff is there. So just real quick in the break in the story, just wanted to show you guys this. This is what everything looks like. So I'm just going to get some Copic markers out and try to start coloring once I figure out what color palette I want to use. I think I'm going to go with like a bright, more primary colors. I think, because I think I'm going to do the books, and I have an idea for the backgrounds. Let me show you. I have this old Impression Obsession stamp set, and I think this would be so cool. Kind of make it look like they're sitting in a library with the fireplace and then the books here to tie in with the books in the background, and I think that's the way we're going to go, but I'll figure that background out later. I'm going to put the card together at a different time. I just wanted to kind of color and talk to you guys. So back to the story, we have all of these reps that are, their sole job is to be in the stores and to sell things for us. But, if nobody wants to see them, what are we supposed to do, and how are they supposed to get their paycheck? Because that's their number one, that's their only priority, is to go in stores and sell things. So it's a very, very unique time that we're in. But I really liked the idea of, buying gift cards online, and for obviously companies that a lot of their business is done online, retailers still continuing to do that. Obviously the grocery stores are pretty much going to stay open. We haven't heard anything about any of them shutting down. Just the markers I'm using, E29, and then this one is E74. So I'm going to see, let's see, can you see if I put it down like that? Just kind of put these on camera. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see them right side or they're going to be backwards, but I'll do my best to keep them out here for a little while. And I'm not really doing anything fancy, just kind of trying to figure out how to blend, because I'm not great with Copic markers. But anyway, so, everyone's trying to figure out what their new role is with the new state of the world. So how do we support a lot of these businesses? And like I said, the grocery stores will most likely stay open. I heard that in another state that borders ours, the liquor stores are shutting down as of Monday, and there is no recovery date for that. So I don't know about my state, but that is, I have a friend who works in the liquor industry, and that's what she's saying, is that they're shutting down. I don't know that for 100% certain, but it does kind of make sense, because you're trying to keep as many people off the roads and out of, the public as possible. So, what are the other things that you can do? So I was thinking about that, because I'm trying to figure out ways that I can support local businesses, and this is E79. So if you guys have any ideas, please feel free to leave them below. I am very curious to see what everybody is going to try to do now that we are really into the thick of things. There are no cases in my county. In a county that is near ours, there are several cases. It's scary, because in the northern part of the state is where a lot more of the cases are. We're luckier to live further south, and things are definitely not as bad here as they are up in the northern part of the state. So other things to do besides buying gift cards, if a place does stay open, try to go there. I went to one of the places tonight to get something to eat, because I'm trying to save some of my food for, God forbid, if we do get into the quarantine situation, like a severe quarantine where things are not open. I'm trying to get into the, just trying to grab something, and I got something that can last me more than just the one night. So I do have some leftovers. So doing things like that. And if you are able to get out and you have neighbors who can't, please, please, please make sure that you're checking on your elderly neighbors, anybody who has a compromised immune system. I have a cousin who has major heart issues, and he can't, he should not be leaving the house. My grandfather is 93 years old and just had a 4th surgery for aneurysm. So we are, making sure that he's okay. I think what else is, there's definitely people that have issues. A friend of mine has cancer, so I'm hoping that she just went through her treatments. I'm hoping that she is staying inside the house, and people are she has a husband and kids, so I'm sure that they are taking care of her. But it's just scary that you have to think about things like this. And I know this is, what's going on in the world, and a lot of people are tired of hearing about it in the news, and believe me, I am too. I'm very tired of hearing. I feel like that's all we hear about all day long is, this, how bad it's going to be, and people are panicking, and people are buying things. And I just saw these memes that were saying, or not even really memes, they were just pictures of an older lady who was in a store, and there was, like, people were picking things over, and there was, like, literally nothing left for her. So I hope that people are being cognizant of others, and you do not need 140 rolls of toilet paper. Come on. So please, please, please leave something for somebody else. The grocery store that I went into the other day had no meat left. I grabbed one of the only things of meat left, and I was trying to buy stuff for my parents because they are out of the country. They are actually just flew into the country tonight. They are on their way home. I'm going to pick them up in a couple hours, and it's super scary because if we were not, if we were all together, there would be probably hardly any food left for us, by the time we got to the stores. So, and stores are being supplied, as a person in the industry, stores are being restocked as quickly as possible. Major manufacturers are in contact with each of the store chains or the headquarters of the stores that you shop at. So be aware that, the stores are very well aware of what's going on. The manufacturers are keeping the store, the headquarters, very, very informed as to what is going on. We're giving them daily updates. Since I am one of these people that is giving my account updates, I can assure you that it's not just my account. It's every single grocery chain is getting updates from their suppliers as to what's coming in, when it's coming in, sustainable items, pantry load items. We're being asked every single day, what is, are you able to supply these things? So your supply chain is being very well taken care of. And I know this has nothing to do with crafting, and I kind of got off on a tangent, but we were saying that you really have to be careful, and just try to be thoughtful of others, and just remember you're not the only person that's out there that's trying to get food. So do not buy up a million things of toilet paper. Don't buy all the meat that's left in the store, because there are people that are less fortunate than you that unfortunately have to buy things in limited quantities, and this may be the only trip they can get to the grocery store. So just be very cognizant of others. I think that's pretty much the short of the long story that I just told you guys. So other ways to help, besides checking on your neighbors, your elderly, just stay home. Really, that's the crux of it, is to stay home. Anything, I think that people are thinking that this is time for their kids to go play in the park, and time for them to, go to the movies, because their kids are going to be off from school. Most school districts are going to be off. It's just the unfortunate reality of this. It's not a time to go bowling, go ice skating, go roller skating, go to the park, do that kind of... No. It's time to spend time with your families, to decompress, and, get the schoolwork done. But please, please, please stay as quarantined as you possibly can, just because it's going to, you may be able to handle the infection, but others that you spread it to, if you have it, like my grandfather and my cousin, are not going to be able to. So just try to be cognizant of that and of others, not just yourself. So this is kind of how far I've gotten. I'm trying to color and talk at the same time, so I'm trying to do small pieces. I'm definitely not going to finish all of this in this chat, but I just wanted to, see how you guys felt about it. Hopefully you were all prepared. There are still things at the grocery store. So if you have to go out, if you run out of milk or bread or things like that, there are things, or fruit, vegetables, there are things that you can only buy in smaller quantities or that don't last as long. Meat freezes. Bread can freeze. So yes, buy 2 things of bread and freeze one of them in case you need it. But there are also things that obviously, like fruit that and vegetables, fresh fruit and fresh vegetables, that you're just not going to be able to. So yes, you are probably going to have to go out to the store. Just be very aware of others around you. So that's the thing, and then just ask your neighbors if there's elderly people around you, or there's somebody that you just think probably can't get to the grocery store or while you're going out, so that they can minimize their interaction. Maybe with some neighbors, come up with a plan, like I'll go out this week if you go out next week for me, and we'll kind of swap things, and that way you minimize your exposure to others and to potentially getting the virus. And this is really scary that we even have to think about this. People were thinking, oh, it was over in China, it's not going to come here. I was hoping that it didn't. This is what it's coming to. So we just have to be, we have to live in reality, and this is the way it is for right now. But just be smart about things. Don't unnecessarily expose yourself or your kids or any of your family to this kind of stuff. For the businesses, if there's any ideas that you guys have, please, please, please feel free to let us know. There are some stores that, like my big sister in my sorority, she has a clothing store, and they now offer curbside pickup. So you can order either over the phone or I think probably on her website. And, you see Fred? He's popping on to say hi. You can order online or call them, and you can pick it up if you're local and not have to go into the store, which is awesome. So again, limiting your exposure, but also helping small businesses stay afloat. So other than ordering online, ordering gift cards is probably one of the best things that you can do, because that will ensure that the company gets the money now when they really need it, and then you can use it again. You can use it once this quarantine is over. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you guys are doing. What are your plans with your kids? I know that a bunch of people are trying to figure out schedules for kids, because this is going to be a completely different world for them. I work from home, so it really doesn't affect me much. But for a kid that's used to going to school every single day and seeing their friends, being socially cut off from pretty much everyone, because you really should be cutting your children off from their friends. Not, they can FaceTime, they can do that kind of stuff, but not getting together all the time, and, try to limit their exposure to other kids just in case. I know that there are definitely some people that have to work, but, trying to limit your kids' exposure. So they're going to be, it's a new world for them too. So what are you guys doing to prepare your kids? I know that my sister-in-law I was with them last night, and we were trying to figure out what they were going to do, how she's going to teach her high school kids all these things that they need to know before they graduate. And my nieces are in kindergarten. How do you give them work to do and teach them at home when their parents are also working during the day? So there's just so many complex issues that everybody is facing between kids and paying bills and things like that. So if we can do anything to help anybody out, it's worth putting it out there. It's worth putting your ideas out there for what to do for small businesses. And I feel for them. My family owns several small businesses. I have a cousin who has an architecture and design firm, and her husband is a contractor, so they work together. So their business is probably going to be affected too, because you're not going to want people in your house doing major projects when everybody should really be quarantined. So her business may slow down. I don't know this for a fact, but it could slow down. There's a lot of different businesses that are going to be affected by this. So if there's any way that anybody can help or think of ideas, please feel free to leave them below. I know this really didn't have much to do about crafting, but there are people in this craft industry that do use a lot of, or do a lot of craft shows and things like that. So it's hard. It's a hard time for everybody. Everybody's adjusting and trying to do the best that they can. So just be patient with people. Try to do the best that you can. Try to support your local businesses if they stay open, or as soon as they open again, go to them and, really try to help your local economy out, because this is going to be a rough, probably about 4 weeks for everyone in the United States. It's been a rough time for China and Italy and some of the other European countries that have been affected by this. So and any country that actually has been affected by this, it's affecting a lot of people across the globe. So I know this was not a usual craft and chat, and I really didn't do much crafting because my brain is just working overtime, and I don't want to mess any of this up, because I want to really be able to pay attention to my what colors I'm choosing and everything. But this is just what I've gotten done so far. I know that it's a little slow for 25 minutes, but I thank you guys for listening to this rant about what's going on and how you can help small businesses, crafty or otherwise, whatever kind of business. So again, if you have any comments about ways that you can help small businesses, if you are a small business and want to get a shout out or, tell people how you can help, please feel free to leave that information below. And I can always do an update video and let everyone know. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. So leave me comments, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video. And I promise the next one will actually be like a true craft video, not a haul, not a craft and chat. It will be some type of technique video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you stay healthy and, get through this like everyone else is going to. I'll see you guys again soon for another video.